What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Geeks. Welcome to another episode of the Gag with Geek Show, the Gag with Geek Show. And no, I'm not gonna edit that out. Y'all, it's 2025, and it's very unfortunate that so many people losing their jobs. So we're gonna review these videos, and I'll be coming back with some of my commentary and just see what people going through and their thoughts on things. So, without further ado, let's get it started.
Well, not how I wanted to start my 2025. I was just laid off. This is actually the first time I've ever been laid off, so I don't really know what to even do or how to process anything. I just dropped off my laptop. It sucks most because I seriously was only at this company for 2 months. I literally got this job in October and loved every single second of it. Unfortunately, the company was acquired and a lot of us were let go. Nothing you can do about it, but it definitely sucks. I have no idea.
Now, I definitely know that sucks. Now, I've never been in that situation where you start a job and 2 months later you get laid off. And usually within those first couple of months when you start a new job, you so motivated, you ready to go, you excited to even be in the position, you're very grateful for it. So I'm sure she was excited to first get that position, and then to only 2 months later be let go. I know that that must be a real blow to the heart. So yeah, I really feel for her in that instance. For anybody who's losing a job, but definitely if you only 2 months in and then they just let you go, it's like it makes you feel like all your hard work was, with getting a job and applying and doing the interview, it makes you feel like all that was, in vain. So definitely feel for her for that.
What I want to do. I don't know if I want to even keep working for a company or what. I got my real estate license back in early October. I'm like, maybe I should just pursue that. But I also really liked the idea of having like a stable income with a job. I'm also getting married this year and have lots of expenses. So, yeah, I still know it's going to be a great year. Like, I'm truly trying to be positive. I know everything happens for a reason, but yeah, I guess we'll see what happens.
I just got laid off,
No,
and I'm 9 months
we're gonna
into
skip her.
director of marketing of any kind.
Okay.
Let me know. I am available to start on March 6th. So thank you. Also, I'll drop my Venmo if you want to donate to the cause. So I'm gonna go ahead and say the quiet part out loud, which is after being let go from my last contract job right before Christmas, I will no longer be applying to any more jobs. No, I will no longer be applying to any more jobs moving forward. And I know you're like, Tiffany, that literally sounds insane. What are you talking about? How are you going to afford rent? How are you going to afford groceries? How are you going to afford life's necessities? Let me explain. As someone who has been working in corporate social media for the past couple of years, whether that be full time, part time, contractually, whatever the case may be, I've just realized that the positions are just way too high turnover. On top of they want you to do the job of five people into one, and it's extremely underpaid and undervalued. And so I'm tired of looking for a job every 4 to 8 months, getting excited and pouring my passion and my energy into something, staying up countless nights, whether that's recapping an award show or whatever the case may be, and being dumped whenever they feel like dumping me. And after being able to grow my account this year on TikTok and reaching my goal, which was 10,000 followers, mind you, I hit 12,000 followers in December. So I superseded my goal. I've decided that I believe the reason why I can't keep a job is because God is trying to tell me I need to invest in myself. And I've tried to take the safe route for so long, y'all. But something in me is telling me that I have to bank on me. And I will say, thankfully, I do have a source of income through an opportunity where I will be able to afford my rent and a couple of other things. And this is a huge risk, but it's time. It's time. If I can build brands and grow their following and grow an amazing community for these brands and
unfortunately get attached to the brands that I work with, I can do that for my own, for me, for Mommy Tip, for the pop culture baddie. And this is not to say if an opportunity comes my way that I wouldn't, look at it and take it and see what it's about. But my point is that I no longer am going to be working myself up unless it is for me, me. And call me selfish. I don't care. But it's time. And if you're watching this video and you've been kind of on the brink of like whether or not you want to invest in yourself as an entrepreneur, whatever the case may be, just investing in you, period, I say go for it. I might eat my words, in a couple of months. Who knows?
You know what? Sometimes, and it's okay if you eat your words, but pop culture baddie Tiffany said, she ain't applying for no more jobs, and she said she gonna bet on herself. And I really love that she said she has another source of income, so where she could take care of her rent and everything. So that's good because a lot of people when they get laid off from a job, they just can't take care of themselves or they don't have any other means to take care of themselves. So then they turn to other things like such as gig work and DoorDash and Uber Eats and all type of things like that. Which I've done that before, so I'm definitely not knocking that. But pop culture baddie Tiffany says she's gonna bet on herself, and if she have to eat her words, that's fine. But for right now, in this moment, she betting on herself, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. Shout out to you, Tiffany, and anybody else that want to bet on yourself, because sometimes that's what you have to do.
But hopefully not. I believe that God will always got me. He's always got me, and He always has. So, with that being said, I just wanted to be transparent with you all, and let you guys know what's going on in my life. So, if you've been seeing me post a lot of content, not just here on TikTok, but also on my YouTube channel, it's because I finally have the time to. But also, too, it's because this is really what I want to do, and this is what makes me happy. And I finally have the opportunity to really go all in on myself. And I know I'm gonna make it. So, yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for supporting me, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Love y'all. Mommy Tip.
That job will literally let you work a full shift, okay, a full blown 8, 10, 12, however many hours you work, okay. They'll make you work all that and then fire you at the end of the day. And I'm sorry, what? But the employee is expected to give a 2-week notice. Like, how are we still living in this fantasy world, okay, where the employee is expected to give a 2-week notice, but the employer is not expected to give any kind of notice? And then on top of that, make you work your shift. At least, call me.
She has a point, and a lot of people that I talk to feel like that, like these employers, they will make you work your entire shift just to let you go at the end of the shift. But it's kind of doing you a favor in the sense of you're gonna get your full hours. Well, if you get paid hourly, you're gonna get paid for them full hours that you work versus you walking in and you soon as you sit on your desk, say we need you to go take your stuff and go, you're done. But no, I definitely understand that like they want a 2 weeks notice. Now, me personally, and for anybody watching that or watching this, I don't need you to get in my comments and say anything crazy about what I'm about to say, but I've never given a job a 2 weeks notice. If I was ready to go, I let them know immediately. I'll send you a letter of an email with my that serves as my letter of resignation, and then I'm out. And then I put effective immediately. So, which, like I said, I know that's not the standard thing to do, and that's what I do. I'm not telling nobody else to do it, but yeah, I personally don't believe in giving jobs a 2 weeks notice now. Now, what I do, well, what I've done for my last few jobs, was I put in my vacation time for 2 weeks once it got approved, and then I follow up and let them know this will also serve as my 2 weeks notice. So while I'm on vacation, getting paid for those 2 weeks, after my vacation, I'm no longer coming back. So I've done that to employers before too. But yeah, 2 weeks notice and me actually coming in for 2 weeks and working, yeah, I'm not doing that.
I'm in bed. Let me know right then and there. Don't even get up, sis. We're letting you go today. Don't even bother doing your makeup, okay? Because look, you can't even afford it after this. Like, let them know. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And honestly, I know a lot of people these days don't even give 2-week notices. They'll just say, hey, I'm resigning. Here you go. Today's my last day. Okay. And what are they going to do? They're probably just going to give you that note. If the next employer calls, they're just going to say, yeah, they didn't give a notice or whatever, which I don't even know if that's legal anymore. I know that they're very limited now to what they can say if, the next job calls the past job. All I got to say is, if you're not given a 2-week notice, good for you.
Almost 100 educators are going to lose their job in December. And for what?
She said if you're not giving a 2 weeks notice, good for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and pat myself on the back because I ain't giving you one. Let's see what this next lady has to talk about.
The East Orange, New Jersey School Board voted to lay off almost 100 employees. But this is how the community responded. Look how many people are there. Look how many people turned out to show their educators in their schools that they love them and they care about them. But despite the room being absolutely packed, the school board still voted to lay off almost 100 people in December. A district employee said, we are already understaffed, and now our students are facing the ordeal of now having buildings with even less teachers, which means more crowded classes and less help and support for our students. How is that what is best for our children? Who lays off staff in the middle of the year? Their state aid has remained constant. However, the district says that they have a budget gap of $25 million and that they would not be able to run payroll in May or June without laying off staff. My question is, why didn't y'all know this back in March when you had to do your budget? Budgets were due, I believe, in April. What was going on then? How did y'all not know this over the summer? It sounds like the staff were not happy, and I completely understand that. The fight is not over, though, and East Orange, I always have your back.
I know I can't be the only person noticing this, but I am seeing a lot of people posting about just getting.
That said, no job in 2025 is secure, basically. And he's absolutely right. There's no such thing as job security anymore. None of us are safe. Each of us can be let go at any minute. So it's always good to have you a plan B, C, D, E, F, G if you can, because none of us safe, y'all. We could be, when we go to these jobs, we could be here today and gone tomorrow, and you just have to be prepared for that. So
Laid off or actually recording their own layoffs. It's just a real reminder that this is not the same generation that our grandparents grew up in, where you could literally work a job for 20, 30, even 40 years and then retire nicely and just live a comfortable life. Nowadays, you constantly.
now I get what he's saying. Like in our grandparents' days and stuff, they stayed on job for 30 and 40 years. Me personally, I don't want to do that. I wouldn't want to do that. And granted, that's how their generation, that's how it went in their generation back then. But I'm actually kind of happy our generation is not like that. I'm a millennial, and no, staying on the job for 30 and 40 years now. About 2 to 3 years for me on the job, and I'm out. I'm on to the next one with higher pay. I'm never going to stay at a job for 30 or 40 years. So, but that's just me personally. And I know statistics show that in order to increase your pay, you should, leave a job every 2 to 3 years for a higher pay to go to another one. But yeah, 30, 40 years not doing. I'm not staying in no job for that long. Absolutely not.
To watch your back. Doesn't matter if you've been at the company for 20 years or 30 years, you can get laid off in an instant. I'm seeing more and more people wake up with emails in their inbox with HR CC'd on it, which is an automatic sign that you're about to get laid off. So if you're working a 9 to 5, my advice is to network, build relationships, because if you get laid off, there's nothing worse than not being able to go to anybody. Make sure you have strong relationships in place. Make sure that your resume is up to date. Make sure you're keeping note of all of your accomplishments while you still have access to that data. And my final piece of advice is, if a recruiter like me reaches out and they have a job that you might be interested in, take the conversation, explore it. Because right now, your company won't be loyal to you and you don't owe them anything. And you literally need to watch your own back.
In case you didn't know, I was laid off from Calendly earlier this year, and yesterday I heard 70 more of my friends and previous coworkers were laid off. And that sucks. Literally 10 days before Christmas. What I didn't realize is how triggering and how upset I would feel, even though here I am still searching for a job. It really just sucked to think of all those people getting the news and being in this position. And it sucks that these layoffs keep happening. I mean, the signs have been there for Calendly. I really hope maybe Took can get its stuff together and bring it back to life. But be on the lookout for your friends and family who may have been laid off this week. I know Calendly is not the only company to do this leading up to the holidays. So it's a rough market out there. Just be sure to be there for everyone.
Nothing pisses me off more than hearing about people being laid off right before the holidays. You will never be able to convince me that these organizations don't know exactly what they're doing by waiting until the end of the year.
I agree with her. To lay somebody off the end of the year and right before the holidays, a lot of people have kids that they gotta buy, Christmas and stuff for. Not only that, just with the cost of living right these days and grocery costs and all that. Like, why would you want to lay people off right before the holidays? Like, these jobs, they could be monsters at times. So the mass layoffs before the holidays and stuff, I don't agree. At least get the folks till tax time. Come on now, y'all employees out there, y'all know a little bit. Y'all should know a little better than that. Have some type of class and have a heart. Y'all out here laying people off for before the holidays, knowing they got to buy Christmas presents and stuff for their churn.
To fire people with no regard on how it'll affect them, with no regard the financial burden that'll come to them and their families. They know exactly what they're doing. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on in those meetings, if they're saying it's performance based or, we're so sorry. We never saw this coming. We know the timing is not ideal. It's out of our hands. Bullshit. Okay. Let me tell you the top 4 reasons why these companies will continue to do mass layoffs right before the holidays, right before the end of the year, and it will piss you off, okay, if you're not pissed off already. Number 1, shocker, cost cutting for year-end financials. A lot of companies will aim to reduce expenses right before the end of the year so that they can meet or exceed their financial metrics. And the quickest way to do that is through layoffs, okay? Nothing is more expensive than the workforce. So layoffs are a good way in the eyes of these companies to boost profitability and limit losses right before they send out year-end reports. They will much rather look good in the eyes of the stakeholders than do good by the employees that have dedicated parts of their lives to that company. It's really sad. Number 2, tax and accounting advantages. I told you it'll piss you off. So if a company does layoffs before the end of the fiscal year, it will allow them to classify severance packages and restructuring costs as tax write-offs. Improving their financial standing for next year. Economic uncertainty and market conditions is another reason why companies would perform mass layoffs at the end of the year. There's a lot of insider information that is being shared at the top of these organizations with these shareholders. Do you guys remember in 2019 when a lot of these CEOs were stepping down from their position right before the pandemic? Also, given the most recent presidential election, it does not take a rocket scientist to know that the economy is going to change. So a lot of these organizations are anticipating higher operational costs, leading them to preemptively reduce workforce expenses. And number 4, a shift in strategic priorities. A lot of companies will use Q4 to assess different departments and projects. And if they decide that they have different future priorities, then they can easily cut resources that are no longer serving, the direction that they want to go in. I truly feel like the way organizations conduct mass layoffs is a reflection of the core essence of how they operate as a business. A lot of companies, particularly in the tech industry, have piss poor practices when it comes to layoffs. It is clear that they will always choose finances and the bottom line over employees. And I feel like that needs to be clocked. Okay, so consider it clocked. Let me know in the comments if these are any of the reasons that they shared with you as to why they were conducting mass layoffs. Or if this is something that you already knew. All right. And make sure to follow me for more career advice.
Yeah. So take this off the screen here. So she shared a lot. A lot of the things that she just discussed in this last clip, I did not know. So that's the good thing about, with me doing these videos and hearing everybody's take on the things that's happening in their lives. I did not know that, so I just got educated on, you know, some reasons why companies do mass layoffs or just layoffs in general. Now, what I did know is they did it to, you know, to increase profit. So if they let you go, if they want to increase profit, if something's affecting their bottom line, the first thing they're gonna do is get rid of the employees, because that's just more money in their pockets. But the, you know, the other uh things that she listed, I did not know some of those things. But anyway, y'all, I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me in this video. And I will see y'all in the next video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you would like to. It's no pressure over here. We just having a good time, having fun, and hanging out. But I will see y'all in the next video.